Welcome to the College Football Bros. I'm Michael Newman.
I'm Ryan Newman.
And I'm Trey Newman.
All right, last week was our SEC preview week, so go ahead and check out those episodes if you haven't already. We're coming back. We're coming back for more SEC. Trey, what's our question today?
What is the pecking order in the SEC?
All right, let's start at the bottom. We're gonna rank all 14. So number 14, unsurprisingly, is Vanderbilt. Yeah. A lot of people are optimistic on the new head coach Clark Lee coming in from Notre Dame. I guess I'm sort of indifferent. We'll see. I do like the young quarterback Ken Seals. I thought, all things considered, he was decent last year. But still, for now, it's 14 until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. All right, let's move on to number 13. We have the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Another new first-year head coach there, Shane Beamer. Learned well past couple of years over there at OU, so maybe he can bring a little magic from there. He does have a nice piece to work around, Kevin Harris. So if you can, in a decent O-line, it created some holes for him last year. So if you can kind of tailor those strengths to that, and hopefully the defense needs to get a lot better. Secondary loses a lot, but the front seven might be all right. So, there's potential there for him to surprise some folks.
Number 12 is Tennessee. The Vols were probably hurt the hardest of anyone in terms of the transfer portal, and they're of course following up an unsuccessful run with Jeremy Pruitt. So Heupel is inheriting a team with some NCAA allegations, new personnel all over the field. Recruiting took a little dip, of course, this past year. They're going to have to rebound somewhat from the 3-7 debacle from a season ago, because really Vols fans deserve better.
All right, number 11 is Kentucky, and I feel like these next few spots are maybe
very interchangeable.
Yeah, interchangeable. So might be a little controversial to have Kentucky this low. Maybe some people would have them a few slots higher, but I guess we're just a bit lower on them. They lost a lot of their best players on defense. They're 112th in returning production overall, so there's a lot to replace. The offense is undergoing a transition, which could be for the better, but it'll be year one of that transition, and we don't know if Will Levis or Joey Gatewood are good passers. That remains to be seen. So I'm comfortable 11th for now.
Yep. Fine with me. Moving on to number 10. We have Mississippi State. Got Will Rogers going into his second season. Got his feet wet. All in all, he wasn't too bad. They also brought in Jack Abraham from Southern Miss just as a kind of a safety net there. Jaden Wally, he's a really good wide receiver for them. They got a pretty good running back. So I think the offense will be much improved. Defense was actually pretty solid last year. I think it's going to be all right this year as well, as long as they stay healthy. They just don't have a ton of depth. So they got a couple good corners, but I don't think they're going to be a great group, but I can see them being all right.
Number 9, we've got Missouri. Us three, we're all big fans of Eli Drinkowitz, and I personally think Mizzou can only improve on this list as the years go by. They showed some signs last year of a better team than in years past. I like everything that Drinkowitz has to say publicly. They have a good quarterback to build around now with Connor Bazelak. The recruiting has improved. Because, at this time a year ago, we all would have had Mizzou a couple pegs lower on this list, I'm sure.
Yep. No doubt.
Okay, here's a team that we definitely would have had several slots lower. At number 8, we have Arkansas. They had a pretty good season last year, and it was 3-7. So that tells us a little something about where they were. And they were probably better than their record. They were 0-3 in games decided by a field goal. So they definitely took a step forward, and they return a decent amount. The defense should take a jump. The question for me is quarterback, because they lose Felipe Franks, who was very efficient last year. So now it's KJ Jefferson's job, and he's got a lot of talent, but just is right now a little bit unproven. So we'll see. But I trust Kendall Briles. He's one of the best offensive coordinators in the country, so I think he'll do a good job with Jefferson.
Yeah, that's why I think I might have him 7th on my list. I like what they got coming back, man, and they were pretty solid last year. So let's move on to number 7, going to the top half here of the conference. We got to Auburn. Normally, if you come in for a coach for who was fired. You come in for a coach who was fired, you're going to need some time to rebuild. But Brian Harson's walking into a pretty good situation with the coach, with it's about as good as you can with the coach being let go. He's got plenty of returning starters coming back on a team that went 6-4 in SEC play last year. And they returned all their linemen, got quarterback. Bo Nix is back. Not that he's amazing, but hey, a couple year starter, and it's nice to have. Good running back, Tank Bigsby. So defense has got a lot of talent. You got Smoke Monday, great safety, Owen Papo, and Zacoby McClain, two really great linebackers. D-line's pretty deep. I mean, if they can just pick up offensive coordinator Mike Bobo's and defensive coordinator Derek Mason's systems, this team could be pretty good.
I like the little pop there that you made.
Yeah, pop. Right. I like that.
Yep. Owen Papo. I should have done that during him.
They need a pop. All right. Moving on to number 6, we have LSU. With the talent that they've accumulated, this is probably as low as they should be. And of course, in the long run, we'd have them, in the top 3 or 4, given their consistent talent. But looking at this year, Orgeron needs a big season. They're coming off that 5-5 year. There are just questions that need to be answered. Can Max Johnson lead them at quarterback? Because we saw Finley transferred away. Brennan had surgery. Can the defense, can they not get gouged like they did last year? And another piece of the puzzle is this is the second straight year where they're having to mix in a lot of new coaches. I personally think we're going to see a little bit better LSU team than last year, but especially since they got a little bit better at the end of the year. But how much better is the question?
Right. Yeah, I think most people, that's probably a controversial 6th. I think most people would probably have them 5th or maybe even slightly better. But, Trey and I in particular are a little bit low on LSU. Number 5 here is Ole Miss, and I'm high on them. I'm always high on Lane Kiffin, and it's served me pretty well, honestly, the last few years. Lane Kiffin's offense is going to be good with Matt Corral coming back at quarterback. The defense was terrible last year, so that's what, if they really are going to be top 5 team in the SEC, defense needs to take a big jump forward. I think it will. They're going to be a lot more experienced this year, year 2 of being under DJ Durkin and the new coaching staff, so I'm optimistic.
Yep. All right, and moving on to number 4, we have Florida. We all know the losses. Kyle Trask and that great group of receivers. But you got Emory Jones taking over. He's been there for 4 years now, patiently waited his turn. And he's been learning under Dan Mullen, one of the best QB whisperers there is. So I think you got to trust Dan Mullen's kind of development and coaching over that he's proved over his years. And I'm sure he's going to obviously do a good job of tailoring the offense to Jones' strength as well. But whatever regression the offense, might have, I think the defense will kind of more than make up for it. I expect the defense to take a big step back to where they have been under Grantham. I think the front 7 is going to be pretty solid. Brought in a couple good transfers, so they might not be elite, but I think they'll be much better than they were last year.
They need to be, yeah. Number 3, Texas A&M. They've really closed the gap since Jimbo has arrived, and it's not shocking considering we've seen how well he's recruited the past few cycles. Last year, they won the Orange Bowl. Their only loss was to Alabama. Their defense should be one of the best, if not the best, in the SEC this year. They have a lot of weapons on offense, as we had 3 of them on our SEC Top 10 Playmaker episode that we had last week. Spiller is probably their best. He should have a big year. And, if you look at quarterback, assuming it's Haynes King, if he's efficient, there really isn't a reason why they couldn't win the SEC this year, or at least for sure be at the New Year's Six mix. It's going to be tough, of course, but they get the Tide in College Station, so lots to like with the Aggies.
Yeah, they're going to be really good. It just comes down to quarterback play as to whether they'll be, top 5.
And O-line play.
O-line, but I don't know. There's a lot of talent
but
there.
There's a little variance.
No, it's true. 4 new starters there, so that's something to consider. Number 2 on our list is Georgia, of course. Well, I guess they could have been number 1, but we have them second. They are always good on defense. Tons of talent there. I'm just not even really going to worry about it. They added some transfers, some key transfers on the back end to kind of make me a little bit more confident in them. And so it just comes down to the offense. And this year the offense has a chance to be elite. So they could make this could be the year for Georgia. It was almost their year in 2017. They were a play away.
Yep.
But maybe this is the year if JT Daniels really is as good as he looked against, some suspect defenses at the end of last year. But he did what you would expect a really good player to do and played super well. So, number 2.
Yep. And of course, at number 1, now we have Alabama, the Crimson Tide. Kind of just keep them there until proven otherwise, I guess. But the defense is going to be great. They have a ton of returning production led by Christian Harris, that linebacker. He's awesome. Will Anderson's another great linebacker that they have. Josh Jobe and Malachi Moore, awesome on the back end. They just really don't have holes on the defense. Maybe the D-line isn't quite as dominant as it has been for them in the past, but it's not like it's a weakness for them. They're still going to be good. But
yeah, and they've had guys step up, like Quinnen Williams came out of nowhere. Like Christian Barmore had a monster year last year. There's someone probably do that this year.
Potential's there. It's just, no, not quite the proven commodities like Christian Harris and Will Anderson have. But, in the offense, obviously we're going to see some new faces. Bryce Young, new face, talented face. John Mechie, proven receiver, though. Evan Neal, arguably the best offensive lineman in the country. A couple experienced players returning also on that line, even though they have a few losses there. But can't go against Bama yet. I do think it's really close between them and Georgia, whereas years past, it's there was definitely a clear difference. This year, it's neck and neck.
I agree with that. All right, that'll do it for our SEC power rankings here. Let us know who's overrated, who's underrated on our list, and we will be back tomorrow ranking the 5 most likely teams to make their first ever playoff appearance in 2021. See you then.
You've been watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and in your podcast app for college football content all year round. For bonus episodes and access to our Discord chat, join our Patreon at patreon.com/collegefootballbros. Thanks for watching.